I mean, I think speaking with if anybody knows anyone in their local government, city council, if you're involved in your city, if not, you should try to start getting involved in your city council meetings, just to understand how the city works and how we get things done. This actually, you can open up a dialogue with your local city and present uh, present constructive criticism and or uh, open dialogue on how to create things or make things better for our community, or just together as a just talking about things, make things happen.
Yeah, if you guys have any ideas too, once we get past all this, maybe some of you guys that are tournament directors or throw minis, if you guys have ideas on how to do that responsibly, and we've had some ideas like, do we let just like one or two people come to the table at once? Do we spray each person that comes up, spray their hands with some hand sanitizer, so when they're fumbling through all the plastic, it's less likely to spread the virus? We actually talked about doing our TD meeting, instead of doing it with everybody in a big group, we're going to do it on YouTube. So we're like, hey, everybody watch the YouTube video. It's going to be our TD talking to you, saying, kind of talk about the course and talk about everything, how it's going to play out. Just all the different ideas you guys might have for the COVID situation to make sure we're doing this right, because the last thing we want is to go out there and do a bunch of the wrong things and have them shut us down because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're obviously a smaller event, probably not going to get as much recognition, but I'm sure the big events, the big A tiers, are going to be trying to make sure they do the right thing, because they're on camera. People are going to watch them, and that's kind of the people who are on the front lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the PDGA site I just pulled up. Kind of the same thing, the 5-step process. Sanction available in Iceland and Norway. For you guys who want to play in Iceland or Norway, that's a green light, it looks like.
All right, let's go.
Actually, it's so hot in here. We're in Texas in my garage. It's hot. That sounds good.
It's hot and mosquitoes.
Yeah, I kind of like. There's also those lightning bugs too. I kind of.
That's the cool part about it. I like the lightning bugs.
Best practice emphasize contactless events. Oh, I didn't even see this. When sanctioning resumes, events will operate differently than they have in the past. Following guidelines of the government, whatever those guidelines might be, all players and staff should practice 2-meter, we know that one, 6-foot rule, physical distancing upon arrival at the event and at all times prior, during and after the rounds of the event, and in all event locations. So 6 feet apart during the whole tournament. Event should utilize virtual player meeting, which we just said that. We're on it. That I didn't know. No, I did not see that before. Event should utilize virtual player meeting and other digital means for check-in and payout to avoid physical group settings such as player meetings, award ceremonies, or any other ancillary activities. That's going to be harder with payout, because so we have the plastic for payout that we kind of carry with us. But I guess people that came to play, amateurs, would be able to pick their plastic, but it might be an online thing as far as payout. They could actually just get from blackzombie.com. It's kind of suggesting here not to have people clustered anywhere.
Well, I know that in some events that we do, that I'm not particularly running it or anything, but they will have payout. First place comes first. You go pick your stuff. Once you're done, second place comes, so you just wait until you're done. It may take a little longer to get your payout, but if you want to get it at the event, that's how it'll have to be, and there'll have to be a first, second, and third line. And once it's complete, you're called up. It's kind of like a lottery ticket, or like if you're there, you get called up. You're next. That's
and it might even be like player packs. I can see the bigger events, especially to avoid the cramped lines and standing around and people complaining about
trophy only,
and then player packs.
You get a player pack, and then trophy only for first, second, third. Cash for open.
I mean, that kind of sucks sometimes, because obviously we know that we don't throw every disc we get, and whenever we're not picking our own plastic, especially in disc golf, it just sucks to get a crappy disc and something you're not going to throw. I mean, all the Black Zombie discs are good, so you wouldn't be complaining. But I mean, I see you going to other tournaments where they're like, oh man, I don't throw this blowfly or whatever they're given. I mean, it could work if they put the right stuff in there or allowed you to have some exchanging. Or I'm still thinking that, ordering, disc off of Black Zombie with your credit somehow.
Yeah, but then they're paying shipping. I'm just trying to get I'm trying to, you want to make money, and you're going to end up spending more money that way. Mm-hmm. So let's, figure out if you're going to bring product to the course, at least give an opportunity for someone to take some with you, purchasing it or anything, This has to be a line, and you can't, you're going to have to be, we'll have to provide hand sanitizer. Please spray your hand before you touch, and then please spray your hand after you touch.
We'll have to spray paint the ground, like some spots.
Mm-hmm. So
this stuff is brutal. Digital scoring should be utilized. Makes sense. Don't want to be handing around a card. Get a drink.
So looks like UDisc will be the best way to keep score. Somebody create a new app.
For sure. That way you're not handling that card that everybody else touched. Players should not touch discs, bags, carts, or any other property belonging to another player. And I know that there's people out there that don't think this is a big deal, and they're going to be out there maybe complaining, I don't know. But I think if we all follow the rules the best we can, we're going to have better success in keeping these tournaments going forward and having more tournaments. And kind of more fun because, get through it, have fun. Don't know who might be more worried than the next person, but just kind of follow the rules and be able to play some disc golf.
Yeah, I think the best way to do anything is try to be cordial with everyone. There's rules to be there, are there for safety of the group mindset. So follow the rules. I guess if you break the rules, there should be some sort of, just like, I guess disqualification for not doing whatever you're supposed to be doing in the rules.
I don't know.
Once you start the tournament, if you're not following the rules that are in the tournament, there should be some sort of...
That totally changes the whole playbook as far as if the TDs are looking for people high-fiving and kicking them out. I feel like it's an adult activity to where we do the best we can at saying, hey, these are kind of the rules. It's not like we can stop you from high-fiving or stop you from doing something like that. I feel like you're not going to be kicking people out for doing stuff that might be against these rules unless PGA totally rewrites and says, hey, this is the power of the rules. TD, and if they're not calling them out, then the TD can get in trouble. I mean, it really has to be one of those things where PGA has to really line that up perfectly as far as what the TDs have to do.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's kind of on the people. We can just do what we can as far as how the tournament. This is kind of the rules, and that's it. I mean, everyone's adults out there.
Yeah.
Participants should bring and control their own food and water for the entire day. I mean, Texas, it's hot. One thing we get in trouble for is TDs if we're not putting water on every third or fifth or seventh hole or whatever it is. So that's kind of a big deal. So as a individual player, you guys are going to have to remember to bring maybe a cooler of ice in your car, some
enough
extra water
for the whole weekend if it's a 2-day event.
Like if we're at Moody's, that's camping, and that's a lot of water. And don't expect your TDs from reading this. I mean, I'd love to bring water out there, but it sounds like they don't want you to bring community water.
It's all on your own.
And we even talked about having Salt Lick come out and talk to John Manis over at Salt Lick, seeing if they'd come out and do food for us, but that might be something that doesn't work either.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what this is saying, then you wouldn't be able to have that unless it was, I mean, you're allowed to have a vendor come and sell food. I mean, wouldn't you, be able to buy food from a food truck?
I don't know. It might be different within the bounds of some kind of sporting event, which would be interesting if that's the case and people start opening up ballparks and you can't get a hot dog or a beer. I know that the gyms, like in Austin, maybe the gyms are different places, but we're going to be opening up gyms. I think June 1st, you can actually go to your gym and work out, but it's the locker room won't be open. The showers aren't open. Just the bathroom part's going to be open. When you go in, you have to be wearing a mask. I don't think you have to be wearing a mask when you're working out, but it's like when you're walking through the lobby. So there's these stipulations at the gym. We belong to the YMCA, my kids and I, and we're kind of reading over their list. They have their own protocol, so I guess the government suggestion or protocol is going to trickle down. So the gyms are going to be a lot different than before, just like any other business will be different. And we're going to have to figure this out too. And I mean, we might not be able to have any catering food out there.
Yeah, we'll have to find out.
If that's the case, you got to bring your own snacks, bring your own food, take care of yourself, especially in the heat out here. I mean, other states maybe not so much, but
June will be
hot,
getting in the 80, 90 degrees, maybe 100. That's usually the end of June is when we start 100 degrees until September. So, if you are going to play, and if we can, stock up your coolers in your car. Maybe bring two, one for ice and water and one for food.
This is interesting too. So amended, I guess I didn't read further down on this because this all looks different or new. So amended tour standards increase flexibility. Due to reduction in available scheduling time remaining in 2020, the PDGA has made several changes to the PDGA tour standards and international program guide. These changes take effect immediately and will be in place for the remainder of 2020 as staff and the board of directors hope to increase flexibility for players and event directors. Changes include reduced mileage restrictions on events. So I guess usually when you have certain events, you can't be within so many miles or whatnot of a tournament, like a competing tournament, so you can't have 3 in the same 1 mile radius or whatnot. I guess they're reducing those restrictions, trying to let everyone get out there and have their tournaments.
Maybe able to have more tournaments, and that will reduce the quantity of people at one, where they can have them spread out into multiple areas.
Because if you only have 30 people per tournament, it makes sense. You could have more tournaments.
Or you could have, you would have 30 per field. And, well, actually, a tournament director could maybe throw a tournament at 2 or 3 different courses. And maybe it'd be 30 at that course the first round, then back over to the other course the next round.
Yeah, I wonder how that would work at Moody's. They have 2 courses on complete different sides for the most part, but they're spaced out. I mean, I guess one tournament might fall under this one umbrella, but you can essentially have 30 per course if that was the number that they picked as far as how many can play in a tournament, or 50, or I'm just making up numbers, whatever the numbers might be per card. Someone had said 3 per card at one point, 4 per card at most, but I think we were just discussing kind of what those limitations might look like. A reduction in payout requirements. Not sure what that means. Reduction in payout requirements.
So probably not cash. It may be that you're paying out PayPal or Venmo or whatever type of or it's a reduction in payout per plastic for our merchandise, that maybe you're getting a trophy, medal or whatever, and you're, like you said, players pack, and then just trophies. That may be what the reduction of.
Yeah, because they do have it set up to where you have to have a scale to where first place, second place, and so on have a certain percentage of the payout down to a certain point, depending on how many people you have in your tournament, or in that division rather. So I'm sure that is reflective of that.